In this video, we're looking at Michael Barrymore, the man who nearly ruined Susan Boyle's career. From one of the UK's highest paid television celebrities to murder charges, Michael has a crazy story that even features Princess Diana. As always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date with all of our latest content. The Susan Boyle incident. Michael Parker, better known by his stage name Michael Barrymore, was one of the UK's most famous and highest paid TV stars between the 1980s and the early 2000s. At the height of his fame in the 90s, he hosted a string of TV shows including Strike It Lucky, My Kind of Music, Kids Say the Funniest Things, and My Kind of People. Now, My Kind of People didn't last very long, but the premise of the show was that Michael would travel around the country visiting shopping malls, and amateur performers would take to the stage to perform, unrehearsed. One of these participants was a young Susan Boyle, 13 years before gaining worldwide recognition on Britain's Got Talent. Susan, 33 at the time, struggled to perform as Michael made fun of her and slithered along the stage on his back trying to look up her skirt. It was a disgusting show of behaviour, and it forced Susan to spend much of her energy defending herself from Michael's advances. Judging by Michael's degrading behaviour, it's likely that Susan never really had a serious shot at winning. But imagine the possibilities had Michael actually behaved like a decent human being. It's worth remembering that Susan was a lady suffering from Asperger syndrome, someone who'd been picked on and bullied her entire life for supposedly being slow. This kind of public humiliation could well have shattered her confidence and resulted in her never wanting to take public stage again. The audience reaction was also rather alarming. Their laughing seemed to encourage his behaviour to get more and more lewd, culminating in his pointing towards his groin, trying to describe the underwear she was wearing, and then pretending to kiss her. The thing is, Michael's erratic behaviour was impacting more than just Susan Boyle. It was also spilling over to other areas of his own life. Marital problems and homosexuality. Michael's relationship with his wife Cheryl, who was also his manager, was volatile at best. In her autobiography, Cheryl claims domestic violence was common, and she says of one particular incident, "He tore off one of my diamond earrings, so it ripped my ear and blood was pouring down my neck." It got to the point where police actually warned her she could be at risk of Michael attempting to kill her. Her subsequent divorce, however, wasn't due to the abuse. It was because Michael publicly revealed on a late night radio call, completely unplanned and without informing his wife, that he was in fact homosexual. Cheryl herself had actually long been aware of this secret. According to Cheryl, Michael was actually blackmailed by his own mother to keep quiet about an 18-month gay love affair that he had had before they were married, and this was because his mother had threatened to sell her story to the newspapers. The fact that Michael publicly ousted himself, however, did come as a complete shock to her. As Michael tells it, Cheryl had to be sedated, such was her devastation, and the collapse officially marked the end of the powerhouse couple who, together, had gone from complete obscurity to, at their height, commanding multi-million-pound fees and pulling in audiences of 20 million per show.
His wife also managed him. He led a double life.
You have to remember that this was the 1990s. The climate towards people who were gay then was not very friendly.
When you got married to Cheryl, had you any inkling you were gay?
No, I thought, do you want the theatrical answer or the truth?
I want the truth.
Yeah, right, okay. I thought that getting married would stop the feelings.
At the time, Michael was also in the midst of a drug and alcohol addiction, and it was actually the late Princess Diana who'd become Michael's rock during these hard times. It was an unlikely friendship, but Diana first reached out to Michael by a handwritten letter as she felt that he was being hounded by the press, as was she, and their friendship was cemented by almost a mutual hatred of the tabloid front pages and the paparazzi.
Does it feel strange for you, Michael, to be the confidant of the Princess of Wales?
Princess and the Pauper, isn't it?
Well, yeah, very much, in a way, yeah. I mean, it must have felt very surreal, didn't it?
It did feel surreal. But actually, it didn't after a while.
Over time, the two grew very close, becoming the best of friends. But had she still been alive, even Princess Diana would have been shocked at what was about to come. M for murder. During the early hours of March 31st, 2001, Stuart Lubbock, a factory worker and father of two, died whilst at a party at Barrymore's home. 3 witnesses, one of whom was Michael himself, claimed to have found Stuart's body lying motionless in Michael's swimming pool. The cause of death was found to be drowning, but Stuart also had traces of drugs and alcohol in his system. In the post-mortem, pathologists also discovered severe anal injuries. The media would capitalise on this, reporting that Michael was holding drug-fueled orgies in his home, and they asserted that he must have had some responsibility for the death. It was claimed that Michael had been seen at the party rubbing cocaine onto Stuart's gums, an allegation that Michael vehemently denied. In the aftermath of the death, it was also widely reported in the media that Barrymore ran away from the scene. Michael's boyfriend at the time was arrested and charged with murder, but he was subsequently released without charge. Then, shortly after, Michael himself was arrested. However, again, no charges were brought, and he was released with just a caution for cannabis possession. Michael found the effects of the incident to be devastating. The investigation was front-page news across the country for months, and it effectively halted Michael's career. He went from being the highest paid TV star to unemployable overnight, as no one really wanted to work with someone who was involved in a murder investigation. However, things would again take a drastic turn. Now former wife Cheryl would provide the Lubbock family lawyers with an affidavit and a court testimony stating that her former husband had lied when he was telling investigators he couldn't swim, when in fact he actually could. The following year, in 2002, during a coroner's inquest, Barrymore was summoned to answer further questions. However, he refused to answer anything, exercising his legal right for no comment.
Remember, this is the guy, the star, that had always been open, friendly to everybody.
This, in many quarters, was seen as the actions of someone who had something to hide. The coroner went on to record an open verdict into the case, and they couldn't categorically determine one way or another if the death was murder or accident. But it was all far from over. Murder charge. Between the incident in 2001 and 2006, Michael's career was effectively on pause, but in 2006 he seemingly caught a break when he'd finally returned to TV as a contestant on Celebrity Big Brother. However, that wouldn't last long. In December of 2006, an edition of GQ magazine was released. It featured an interview with Michael, and in that interview, Michael stated that there were other witnesses to the events who were hiding information. That interview, plus allegations that the police had made a series of mistakes during their initial investigation, effectively forced the police to reopen their inquiry. And in 2007, Michael and 2 others were arrested and charged for serious sexual assault and the murder of Stuart Lubbock. During the investigation, Michael was questioned for 12 hours, set on bail, and then later questioned again for another 12 hours. By September of 2007, police were forced to drop all charges as there was insufficient evidence linking Michael to Stuart's murder. However, the case continues to be open to this day. The aftermath. In an effort to clear his name, Michael did a tell-all interview with Piers Morgan and said,
"That family deserve proper answers. I had nothing to do with what happened to Stuart. I am innocent. I am not 99.9% innocent. I am 100% innocent, and I am entitled to walk around with my head held high. I did not flee the house. I did not flee and suggest I was running away. I phoned Mike Brown, my PA, my personal assistant, and I said, there's been a problem at the house, told him what had happened. It's going to be surrounded by press. Yes, I should have stayed. I'm not making excuses.
No, but I'm saying the reason that...
I f***ed up. What more do you want? I f***ed up.
I get it. And somebody died.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more sorry.
Michael admits to having tried taking his own life following the ordeal, and he stated numerous times that he believes if Princess Diana were alive, his demise might not have happened. To this day, Michael is rarely on TV screens anymore, and the public persona continues to be scrutinised by the media, with most of his coverage being negative.
How do you restore a reputation which maybe you can't restore because so much damage has been done?
Maybe it's damaged goods, yeah. Persona non grata.
It's been a fall from grace, to say the least. If you haven't already seen our Susan Boyle video, or if you've not heard the role that Michael Barrymore played in Paul Potts' story, be sure to check out those videos too. I'll include links in the description. Thanks for watching, catch you on our next video.